No, take it. No, I hadn't realised we're finishing the teaching tonight, so we need to film the camera.
Oh, yeah. You want someone else to do that?
Yeah, if you don't mind. Yeah, very much. It's
Good evening, dear friend. Tonight is the 19th of June, the year 2011, and we are on the 4th days of the health retreat in South England. I try to finish the teaching tonight, and we will put on the question and answer for tomorrow. If we have extra time tonight, we will may answer some questions. Otherwise, we will have on the question and answer for the tomorrow morning. At this afternoon, we already learned about the mindfulness practice to examine our body through our weight product, skin, face area. Now we continue to the nail and joint. When we have a shower or before we wash our face, once in a while we should check our nail. If a healthy person supposed to have a nail shiny, polished, smooth, and it have a pink color evenly. If anyone have the light pink color or white area in the middle of your fingernail,
Like this one?
no, sometimes it have a
the upper part.
yeah, in the middle of your nail,
Right.
and you see the area is white and it's spread out. That means we don't breathe deep enough. The lung don't have enough air. When it becomes more severe, chronic, the tip of our fingernail, it will bend down, and what we call that is clumping finger.
Yeah.
So that indicates you have a chronic lung disease. We don't breathe enough. The exchange for oxygen is not enough. And if we have at the bottom, the bed of our fingernail, usually when you strum, the heat flow evenly. You don't see the white area up here. See, except for the thumb. The weaker your body, the higher it to be. So it changes throughout the day, or from one day to the other. So if you pay attention to that, you will know how your heat flow. Whenever it flows up, you know you're very weak, or the dampness build up in your body. Whenever it's going down, you know, okay, your body okay, good condition, and the qi flow evenly. And if you take a look at the tip of our finger and the fingernail, it become over pink, a little bit purple, light purple. That means we have heart disease. The lung didn't have enough oxygen. The heart had to work more, and it still cannot supply enough oxygen for the cell. So that's why it becomes purple. The same thing when we see our face. When we go to the high altitude, the oxygen concentration is too low, and then our skin becomes light purple or dark purple. And when we are working or we living in a damp condition, too much moisture, and our immune system or our pH is too acidic, you will see we have an inflammation of the border around the fingernail or the toenail. That's considered the fungal infection, usually the Candida albicans. It's very painful. It's inflammation around the border of the nail and the flesh. The other kind of fungal infection that it infect at the bottom or the base of the fingernail or the toenail, usually by the trichophyton. That means another kind of fungus. It's not really painful, but it makes your nail become thicker and become cloudy. It's no longer smooth and polished, shiny. And then the other condition, whenever you see your fingernail, it has some stripe. Sometimes the brown color, sometimes dark color, sometimes dark kind of black, dark brown or black color. It goes from the light color. That means your liver had a problem, abnormal or obstruction. When it becomes brown or dark brown or black, that means the kidney. It has some stripe along the fingernail.
How can you tell the difference between a problem with the kidney and the liver then, from the nail? You said
The
they're
light
both dark.
color, when it has a light color,
Yellow.
yellow, from yellow brown to light brown.
It's the
That means
kidney.
the liver.
Oh, the liver.
When it has a dark brown to black, that is the kidney.
Oh, okay.
And then let's see what else for the nail. Yeah. All right. And then when we examine our skin, if we see it's not very shiny, it's too dry, it have the kind of cracking. I mean, either we have dehydration or we have the problem with the lipid transformation. Sometimes we eat too much, but the oil or the lipid we eat is no good, so it gets stuck in our bloodstream. It not get to the production of the cell membrane. Or sometimes we have a hot shower too often, or maybe during the winter we wear too much clothes. In that case, you can either change the shampoo, you may use less hot shower, and we may apply try minimize use the lotion.
Mm.
Right. We can use, the aloe vera. That's good. Or we can use, in case you have a severe topical skin condition, I recommend use the sesame oil. Yeah. Especially when you have very severe condition like psoriasis, eczema, in your heel you have cracking during the winter. Yeah, don't use the knife or something to cut or to slide that. Use the stone. Yeah, to drop it, and then after that you apply the sesame oil. Yeah, especially for diabetic patient. Be careful with that. And then for the joints, when we had a problem with that, we already talking about whenever we move and we feel painful, not only the joint but the muscle and the tendon. Three of them contribute and hand in hand. We need to exercise more and increase the force and the duration day after day, and make sure we have to change our diet. Whoever have high consumption for sugar, caffeine, any zinc product, it's too much damage in your body. It will make the joint inflame, expand. So now we have to minimize use of that product, exercise more, and massage on that area more. It have some other condition related to the joint. That means the gout attack. When people have they eat too much meat, or even though people eat too much tofu incorrectly, still have that condition. Or sometimes when you eat some spinach, tomato without remove the peel, yeah, it can contribute to that problem too.
So you have to eat tomatoes without the
The,
skin?
the skin.
Wow.
Yeah, because the skin of tomato, it has a lot of oxalate. It can crystallize. It contributes to the severity of condition of uric acid.
Yeah.
And that is very painful. Very painful. So when you have that problem, not only to eliminate all of the zinc product, caffeine, sugar, meat, you have to soak the feet on the area have the gout attack into the bicarbonate solution, and give what we call the black cherry concentrate. It have a capacity to penetrate and dissolve the crystal sediment in the tissue. And let's see what else we have. See, eye, mouth, lip, body. Yeah, now we finished the mechanism why female have a higher possibility of getting cancer and harder for the treatment, because if we eat if we live in an environment with too much pollution, too many toxins, equally between men and women. But men in case we get the material toxin, that means the visible, the material, men have a less adipose tissue and men have a exercise more. So whatever deposit in the muscle, when exercise, it will slide out and it will eliminate easier, faster. On the other hand, women have a more fat tissue, and the fat tissue, unless when we do the fasting for the body to burn out that one, otherwise we can no way still burn the fat tissue. And when we exercise, it cannot do anything with the fat tissue. The muscle tissue can be shrinker, can be harder, but the fat tissue not up much, and it will slide from one place to the other place. So all of the material gets stuck in there, cannot get out. So that is the issue with the toxin, the material. It's still easier for treatment, but the most important is the psychotic issue, the invisible, the blockage of the energy. Usually men, when they're upset, when they get angry, they explode it right away, right? They let it out, they don't keep it inside. But women usually have a tendency of not really explode it, but it kind of underlie and prolong. And sometimes you try to cover up. And that's what we call the internal formation knot. It will tie up all of the energy channel, the blood vessel, and all the meridian. So when that happens, for example, the central nervous system, the thyroid, the milk gland, the breast gland, the uterus, all of that is very sensitive to the central nervous system. So when you get stressed, when you got in that condition, you tie up all that channel and it becomes imbalanced. And if we learn how to live mindfully, recognize and let go every day, it will clear up. But because we didn't do that, so it gets stuck more and more. The knot become higher and bigger.
The ovaries. What becomes bigger?
The knot.
The
Oh,
knot.
the knot.
Yeah. But it's just the energy
Yeah.
at the beginning. It's just the blockage of the
Yeah.
energy, the invisible.
Mm.
But because it gets into the meridian, the flow of the energy, the key,
Yeah, okay.
and then it's in the middle of the muscle. But women have less muscle than adipose tissue.
Mm.
You see? So and then the blockage, now it blocks the flow of energy. Now the key becomes stuck. Even though the key is invisible, but it kind of more material than the energy from our psychosis, right? And then when the key be compressed to certain pressure, what it becomes? The liquid, right? The same thing in here. When we are under stress and the knot becomes bigger and it blocks the flow of the energy, it will build up, especially in the adipose tissue area. At first, that's why when we do the mammogram or when we do the shower, you use the finger to palpate.
Yeah.
If we sensitive enough, we will find out some tiny bubble
Mm.
the size around the moonbeam. If you're not sensitive, okay, it's the size about the red bean or the kidney bean. Sometimes the CT scan can discover that, but most of the time not. Because why? Because that's just the blockage of the heat, the flow energy, and now because under pressure it becomes liquidate, and that liquid, the same energy level, the same frequency, exactly the same environment with our body. So the CT scan consider, especially in the breast area, it's exactly the same, the milk gland.
What was that last word?
The milk gland. When
Oh yeah,
the
milk
milk,
gland.
the milk production, it have 100,000 glands to produce milk. So the liquid in there, it's exactly the same size of the milk production process. So the CT scan cannot discover that, and our immune system still cannot discover that. You see, no different. The other material is from outside, so our immune system recognize that it's a foreigner. Different frequency, different energy level, different structure, but here everything almost the same.
I haven't quite understood that. You said in the milk glands, you're talking about the blocking of the key, and that gets blocked in the breast tissue because it's fatty.
It's everywhere, but
Yeah.
most of the
Mostly.
time in the breast area,
Yeah.
or in the uterus, or in the fat tissue area.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
because it's very difficult to recognize in the breast area, because in the breast it have a many tiny pores
Yeah.
and the gland to produce milk.
Yeah.
So the body will identify that as the milk production process.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. I see.
Use something to
So
Yeah.
the immune system cannot
Yeah.
detect that, cannot find it, because it's the same frequency, the same energy level, almost the same process of milk production.
Yeah.
So and then the stress building up, the pressure building up, and the size of that bean become bigger. When it becomes bigger than the normal size, now the radar from our central nervous system detect it. When it detects it, it sends the message to our immune system. Right? The immune system now sends the soldier to that area to solve the problem. So the first time it's just the liquid building up. Now the macrophage, the natural killer, on kind of the cell from the immune system come. But when they come, what they can find? Nothing, because it has no material, no cell around it. It's just a liquid, and the same atmosphere, the same energy level, everything is the same as our friend, our people, not the enemy. They can do nothing, so they have to stay around that area, right? And now that consider the bubble or the tiny tumor become half of liquid, half of solid. Now the radar here will detect and send out a message again, a little bit more angry matter. I give out the order for you to come to get rid of this one. It's not only matter, now it works. When the order come out, the military had to send more soldiers too, right? But the second troop come, what they can find? Before the first one come, they see nothing. But the second troop come, they will see what? All our friend, our own brother, right? Because the same natural killer, the same macrophage, the same thing. But now exactly, you are the same with me. We are the same army before. Now they get stuck, more and more cells come. You see? And then when it comes and the number large enough, it totally blocked. It shut down because it engaged, so it now it kind of isolates by its own, and it growing by itself.
So they become the
Bigger and bigger, and then
abnormal cells, and they become.
and then that same cycle, this one will detect, the radar will detect now the tumor size bigger, and the condensity is more condensed. They will matter. They send out more order. The immune system has to work harder, send more troops up here. But now because one more people come to resolve the problem, and then by itself it already isolated at independent area. So the cycle becomes worse and worse, and the tumor size become bigger, more condensed, and more abnormal. Because our cell synthesis, it have a certain cycle, the period of time, and it have a certain number. If over that, okay, it be shut down. In our body, always have two systems to balance itself. But now, on the sudden, okay, they need too much. The immune system has to call all the cells. But when it don't have enough, they have to produce faster. Material don't have enough. Time doesn't have enough. So what happens? Defect. The product become defect.
Yep.
So the cell, the more cell come later, outside become 30% to 40% abnormal, but 70% still the same chromosome, the same DNA, the same structure with the regular cell. You see? So and then it obstructs and it isolates that area at the independent, and it just keeps growing like that. At the same time, the surrounding cell will suppress like 100 string we put, right? Actually, at the beginning, it have the suppression for too, but because the tumor not too big and depend on where it locate. If it locate in the area not really oppress or interfere with the other internal organ, we may not pay attention because it's not affect to other organ. But certain area, it relates to the internal organ. And then when the tumor size too big, it interferes with the other organ activity. Now we start to find out the signs, symptoms and complain. But actually it's not overnight. That process for a long time, a few months or a few years. And then all of a sudden, you have a sign, symptom, and you see the tumor, or maybe not. But when you come to the doctor, you complain. The doctor examines, see it, take the X-ray or the CT scan, the MRI, find out it clear. It's simple. Everyone, you have the pain right there, and that is the tumor right there. So easy, just cut it, throw it out, right? Even though most of them, they will cut bigger than the size of the tumor. But how can we calculate the suppress, the offensive force?
Yeah.
So by the time when we put the knife in to remove the tumor, 100 cells surrounding, now it have an empty space, and it almost get mad because we suppress for a long time. Now boom, it goes everywhere depend on the affinity, depend on the aggressive force. It will suppress. At that moment, it metastasize already, not waiting for after 3 months or 6 months. You see? So after 3 months or 6 months, instead of only at the beginning, it's only one knot. See? But after we remove that tumor, after 3 months, 6 months, we see 10, 20, or even 100. Depend on how fast, depend on the area, and depend on the suppression force and suppress that. So, and then that process return, going back right away. That cell get mad, we have affinity to go, and then it will lie attract alive. It will collect all of the best cell around, come back to that side, and it build up its own side again, and that cycle repeat. You see, so that is the mistake of the diagnosis when we didn't see the whole process building up. And the other problem, you see the immune system over that period of time, it had to work over time tirelessly to produce new cell and to fight back or to matching the order from the central nervous system. So it already exhausted, overworked. Now we use chemotherapy and radiation. We throw the whole bunch of toxin into our body. So it overwhelmed. That means the patient going downhill. And the other issue for caregiver and the patient, because we not exercise, we don't know how to breathe correctly. That's why the oxygen saturation becomes low. The flow of the blood be blocked by the knot. The immune system cannot invade deeply in the area. And now when the patient got sick, the condition going worse, and they don't want to move anymore. They less exercise, less exposed to the nature, stay indoors, so the condition becomes worse and worse. That is favorable for the cancer cell than the normal cell. You see? So that's why if we don't understand the mechanism, we have no way to help the cancer or the chronic patient. And also, we have a really false concept. When we see our relative or our friend in that condition so weak, we want to give them more nutrition. And what we give? Meat, fish, meal, all of the good things we consider good stuff. But actually, first, whatever we give a negative, too much zinc, no good for the patient in the weak condition. Secondly, the cancer, the tumor cell is stronger. It have a higher affinity to yield material because it produces faster than the normal cell. So all the material we provide for our body, now they take it on to produce the cancer cell, so the cancer cell and the tumor grow, but not the normal cell. See, that's why when we treat for the cancer at first, we need to let our body starve. Don't give any solid food. So the cancer cell will die first, because it's the abnormal. It's only 70% normal and 30% abnormal. So
Could you say that again? 70%?
Maximum 30% abnormal and 70%. I mean the structure is still the same with our normal cell. That's why it's difficult for treatment cancer, because when we destroy the cancer cell, that means we destroy our normal cell.
Yeah.
That's why it's very difficult to target for the treatment for cancer, because it's almost the same structure. It's just because it's produced too fast, so it's a little bit abnormal. Defect, it looks like we had a product defect. We can yield, but it not last long and it's not perfect. The same thing with our cell, because it has to matching the order to fight back from the central nervous system. So the immune system has to produce faster and to satisfy the order for the radar from the central nervous system. So if we let the body starve for a few weeks, the cancer cell will going to die.
So you give just
Majority of that. And the normal cell will have a stronger ability to adapt and to recover, because it have an opportunity to rest. And then after a few weeks of resting, now the body will need the energy, the protein. The body will go where to find out the nutrition if we not provide outside. It go inside, because all this one is me. You take it from me, now I take it back.
Yeah.
The same energy level, the same thing, now I just take it back and I just prepare that. It's just defect, now I just recycle, because everything the same.
Yeah, as you fix.
And then it slowly kill off on the tumor cell, the abnormal cell, and the tumor gone. And it's reset, look like our computer. When we at the same time we open too many programs, it slow down until a certain time, okay, it gets stuck and frozen. And if we download too many software, too many programs, it have too many virus, even though we try to delete, but it still have somewhere stuck in somewhere. Once in a while we have to run a backup to clean up everything and to reset it. During the time of resting, our body will reset its program. So that's why treatment for cancer, we have to be patient and we have to understand the procedure. Otherwise we just make it worse, the burden for the immune system, and we just provide the nutrition for the cancer cell only, not the normal cell. And the patient has to exercise or has to use anything have a high concentration of oxygen. Otherwise it's just favorable for the tumor cell only. So that's why usually women have a more cancer and more difficult to treat than men. When we know that, exercise, massage our body regularly, but the most important, meditate, let go. That is the only way to open or to retire the knot, to let all the channel, the energy flow evenly. And by exercise and massage, we will let the flow evenly and deeper. Alright, that is the second thing.
I'm going to eat
Now, we talked about the diagnosis already. Now we talk to prevention and treatment. At night time, when you go to bed on time and we wake up in the morning, and I already told you we should practice let go and prepare for let go everything. Let go our body, let go the worriness, anxiety, let go the planning, let go all our projects, and prepare for dying every night when we lay down on our bed. If we can let go, if we can prepare for dying, we will prepare for living. You see, if our body, the old cell, not die, we cannot have a new cell, and we cannot grow, right? So that's why we have to accept that, and we have to prepare that. If we prepare that good, we will have a new life good. If we not prepare for dying, we cannot prepare for living. So that's what we should do at the night before. And early in the morning, the first thought arise in your mind when you wake up is reading. Open our eyes, we smile, we had a new, brand new 24 hours, and we wish for everyone and the blissful, the joyful, the happiness day. And after that, we start to still lying down there, rub our hands, our palm together. And you see, when we rub our palm together, we already send the message to the internal organ. Liver, heart, lung, kidney, and all the intestines get ready. Right? We still lie down there, but because during the time of the midnight, it's totally relaxed completely. Now before we start to work, we have to send a message to them. After we send a message to the internal organ, the blood, the heart will beat faster, the lung will breathe faster, the blood will flow faster. And now we start to rub to the tip of the finger. So all of the tip of the finger will be all of our synapse. You see, that will be all our synapse. And you know, the nose and all the synapse belong along that to the cheek, to the ear area, to the frontal lobe, to the throat area, all that connect to each other. And this is the first station to receive the new air for a new day. And this is also the station for all of the air conditioner in here. So before it needs to work, we still have to send a message to that by stimulate the tip of 10 finger. So by rubbing our palm, rubbing our tip of the finger, we warm it up. That means we always send a message through all of the internal organ and all the synapse to get ready to work. Now we start to rub our face. When we rub our face along a nose to the forehead, to our cheek, to our chin, okay? 3 times, and rub our hand, our palm together again. Rub our nose, forehead, cheek, chin. when you're doing that about 5 minutes, you will see internally and externally get ready. Because not only the blood flow faster, the heart beats faster, the lung can breathe faster, so it will adapt from the resting state to the working state. That is internally. And externally, we already massage and rub our face. So all this area now, the heat on the blood and all the circulation, it bring the heat to this area. And the moisture in our lung go up here to get ready to neutralize the new air. Because we sleep in the sleeping room, when we get up, we remove the blanket, the rate different. Especially when we step out of the sleeping room, the bedroom, the atmosphere will different. Normally, more important during the fall, during the winter, the temperature is totally different. So if we not prepare for that, when we sit up or when we step out of the room, the cold air from outside will hit. And if this not prepare here, we will have the mucus secretion to protect itself. So that's called the allergy and the chain reaction. If you hit the cold air, the dirty air, the bad smell, whatever, but if not prepared for that, the first thing our body does is secrete the mucus layer to block that thing to penetrate into our body. So when it secretes the mucus, and if you not isolate or you not get away to that environment, the stimulant continue to get in, the body continue to secrete more, and the chain reaction continue for an hour or half an hour at least. You see? So that's why we need to prepare our body before we remove the blanket, before we sit up, before we step out our bedroom. Rub our palm together, the tip of finger, rub our face.